Hi, everyone. It's Joe Chadburn with the International Peace Network. I'm here because something has been on my heart with this genocide that's going on in Gaza. I have done my absolute best to sign every petition imaginable, and the responses that I get back from my representatives are just full of Hasbara, Hasbara, Israeli propaganda. Look like Netanyahu wrote these form letters himself. And then it's very difficult to get up with these people. So I've decided to take this, my petition, to the internet and to share it with you. And after receiving several of these form letters from Congressman Rudy Yakym, and his information is there at the bottom, I received this rather large flyer in the mail, which I'm about to show you, okay? But what I want to do is go over this like step by step, what's in this flyer. I want to keep this brief, but you're going to find this very, very interesting and troubling, okay? So first of all, here you go. Now, this is a U.S. representative, a congressman, okay? You notice the two flags on there. I want to know, okay? I mean, Bob Dylan said, you're going to serve somebody, okay? You got to serve somebody. I want to know who you're serving. I want to know who's funding your campaign. I mean, I am Portuguese, Italian, and there's some Scottish in there and a bunch of other European nations that I can trace my ancestry back to. But I don't want a Portuguese flag on a flyer. I don't want an Italian flag or a Scottish flag or any other flag of my ancestry on a flyer. Somebody's supposed to be representing me in Northern Indiana and representing America and claiming to, to quote Donald Trump, America first. And so I find this highly problematic that during an election season, instead of, talking about issues that affect me directly, he's concerned about something, the interests, okay, of a Franken-state that was created in 1948 that's thousands of miles away from me. All right, now this, I'm going to read the front of it. Congressman Rudy Yakym stands with Israel. Quote, Israel needs our unwavering support now more than ever as they defend themselves and bring Hamas terrorists to justice. Representative Rudy Yakym. Okay. I've got this question for Representative Rudy and Brother Rudy. I'm going to do this in the spirit of love and like Dr. Cornell Westwood, everybody's my brother. So Brother Rudy, I got to ask you this. You and all your gun-toting constituency. This real, and you also have Amish Mennonite. There's Mennonites in this area. There are Anabaptists who hate war. So I'm not sure exactly who you're representing, but I will say this, okay? Hamas is what most every gun-toting American would be if anyone else did to America what the Israelis have done to the Palestinians over the past 75 plus years. Full stop. You would not call them terrorists. You would call them patriots, freedom fighters, and you'd be crying USA, USA, USA if that included even an armed struggle, an armed resistance against an invading occupier. You framed this event in your response emails as if everything started on October 7th, but what you are ignoring, you try to frame it that way, but what you're ignoring is the bigger picture. 75 plus years of genocide, ethnic cleansing, all manner of atrocities against the Palestinian people, both Christian, Muslim, and otherwise, against the Palestinian people for 75 plus years. So all of these atrocities, okay, and these resistance fighters who were perhaps toddlers when they saw their parents die right in front of them, killed by Israeli bombs supplied by the United States of America. All right. I condemn war. I hate violence. I am anti-violence. This is the International Peace Network. I hate guns. Don't own a gun. I hate weaponry. Okay. I barely own a decent set of steak knives, if the truth be told. Okay. So I am not a weapon guy. I am not one of these. I am not a gun toting American, but let's cut the hypocrisy. Okay. Hamas, again, is nothing more than most any gun toting American would be if anyone did to America for the past 75 plus years what the Israelis have perpetrated upon the precious Palestinian people. Let me just say this. At the International Peace Network, we love our Jewish brothers, our Muslim brothers, Christian brothers, and sisters, of course. It doesn't matter who you are. You can claim to worship the flying spaghetti monster or nobody at all. We love you. You're our human sisters and brothers. And I'm so thankful for the Jewish Voice for Peace and for all of these wonderful Jewish organizations who stand, okay, for righteousness, okay, who are against the Israeli government, which does not make anybody anti-Semitic because they do not like Benjamin Netanyahu and his regime and the things that have been perpetrated, again, against the Palestinian people for 75 plus years. Stop trying to whitewash that stuff. You just can't. And you are on the wrong side of history, sir. Okay, here we go. He's got on the back of this. Representative Rudy Yakym puts university DEI departments on notice for anti-Semitism. Okay, the last time I checked, okay, genocide is not Semitic. Okay, so if I'm protesting a genocide and that makes you anti-Semitic, that's an anti-Semitic statement in and of itself, okay? To conflate genocide with Semitism. That's not what I do. That's not what the precious Palestinians that I know and fellowship with do. Congressman, Brother Rudy, how much time have you spent with Palestinians? Christians, I'm assuming you're a Christian, but you're a Palestinian Christian, brothers and sisters, or you're Palestinian Muslim brothers and sisters. You've come to these judgments unrighteously. And again, I don't know who's financing your campaign, but I don't know why you have two flags on the front of this thing or why you stand with genocide Joe Biden. Okay. And again, one can, and you've hijacked the term Semitism again, because converting to a religion doesn't make anyone a descendant of Ham, Shem, or Japheth. Figure it out. Okay? Just because you're an Ashkenazi or Khazar, if you do not have roots and your genetics do not lead back to the Holy Land, you can't claim to be Semitic. But regardless, okay, genocide is wrong. Claiming that God gave you the land is wrong. And I'm also a theologian, so I can argue this, okay, theologically, morally, philosophically, and no one who stands with Israel has a leg to stand on. And I challenge anyone to a debate or an interview, and that includes you, Brother Rudy, okay? I mean, I promise you, I will debate you. I will ask you questions. I will be a gentleman with you, but it's really time that the truth be told, because the American people have really been so brainwashed by this Hasbara, Hasbara, okay? When students, precious Jewish students, okay? When precious Jewish women, when White House staff, okay, are protesting against this, they are not anti-Semitic. These rabbis are not anti-Semitic. I'm not anti-Semitic. I have Jewish family, okay? I love Jews, okay? I pray and care for Holocaust survivors, okay? I mourn every victim. I mean, I hate violence, and I remember the Holocaust. I'm not a Holocaust denier by any means, but now when you mention the Holocaust, you also have to mention the Nakba, the 75-year plus years Nakba, the catastrophe that has been perpetrated against the Palestinian people by the Israelis, okay? One genocide does not, write two genocides, okay? Don't write one genocide, okay? If someone commits genocide against you, you don't have a right to commit it against anybody else. And you would think that you wouldn't. And there are Holocaust survivors, okay, who protest the state of Israel for their inhumane treatment of Palestinians. Ilan Pappé is one Jewish historian. Dr. Norman Finkelstein, you can look him up. Amazing man. Miko Piled, he was an Israeli general's son who served in the Israeli military. And the list goes on and on and on. Just look at Jewish Voice for Peace. There are so many people, so many precious Jewish people and Christians and Muslims who do not stand with this apartheid regime of Israel or this genocide that has killed, okay, over 10,000 precious children. That's not include, the number is close to 20,000. And those are like the official, if it hasn't exceeded that, with people buried underneath the rubble. Now, and this goes out to, pro-life Republicans and anti-gun Democrats. You're talking about sophisticated weaponry being used to kill, okay, over 10,000 children. Don't you be a hypocrite and claim to be pro-life, because you are not. You're killing children in precious Palestinian women's wombs. You're killing babies in hospitals, in incubators. You're paying for this. You're supporting Genocide Joe and not telling him to stop this. And it is absolutely abominable. And I don't want to hear you Democrats either, because you're afraid of an AR-15, but they're dropping bombs, bunker busters, white phosphorus, all this crap that they are bombing these precious people with. And then when they go to look for their loved ones under the rubble, okay, in refugee camps and in hospitals and in schools and in mosques and churches, the third oldest church in the world in Gaza was bombed. When they go to look for their precious loved ones, then they bomb again on top of it. And this is horrible. And cutting off water and food and electricity and medical supplies and the things that these precious people need. This is an abomination. This is a genocide. And how anybody can stand with this evil regime right now it's unconscionable, and it's unimaginable for anyone with an ounce of morality and sanity. I will go on here, okay? Voted to send Israel. This is a check mark. This is his boast sheet, okay? I'm reading this, his little boast sheet. Voted to send Israel military aid to help protect their people and defeat Hamas, okay? Well, where are all these Hamas people that have been captured? So far, you have got 20,000 or more civilians here. You got 70% of the people who have been massacred are women and children. So this isn't about Hamas, Congressman Yakym. And if they have such a great military, then they should be able to go in there with such precision that they claim and have special ops go in and take care of Hamas. But I'm telling you, Hamas is not the end game. Ethnic cleansing is the end game. And they're proving this with what they're spouting off, okay, with impunity and unashamedly about what they want to do with Gaza. This is not about Hamas. And if we're going to get to that, you're supposed to have the most secure, it's illegal, but you have this most secure border in the world. All of a sudden, they schedule a music festival, basically last minute, to be near it, and then you've got no response for like 7 hours, and then you have people just paragliding over, coming in through bulldozers and everything else. This was a setup in my eyes, okay? This was an excuse that they were looking for. Netanyahu's in legal trouble. He's in political trouble. And the aspirations of what they want to do, okay, of their European settler colonialist project is a giant land grab and an ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians, and their officials are coming out with that. Israeli newspapers say this, okay? It's crazy that Israeli sources are saying things that our own Congress people and representatives and Genocide Joe, our president, brother Genocide Joe, won't even say, okay? And so this is amazing. Wrote a letter to 126 universities questioning what DEI officials are doing to protect Jewish students from anti-Semitic intimidation and threats, okay? I condemn any threats against Jewish people, but I'm here to tell you, look up the definition of Semitic, because Palestinians are Semitic people, okay? And I would venture to say that there are more Semitic Palestinians in the Holy Land than there are Semitic Jews. That's just how it is. Again, converting to a religion does not make you a descendant of Ham, Shem, or Japheth. It just does not work that way. But that aside, it doesn't matter. These are precious Jewish people, okay? Palestinians want to live and have peaceful coexistence, okay? This is Jews, Muslims, Christians, just like they did prior to 1948. If you'll study it out, read Ilan Pappé, okay? Ilanpappe, Jewish historian. He's not a self-hating Jew. He's not an anti-Semite, okay? This is a precious Jewish brother that I'm speaking of right now. So, and again, there's no mention of Islamophobia. There's no mention of, what is it, a 6 or 7-year-old child that was shot in the Chicago area simply for being Palestinian, okay? A little child. The attacks that happened in New Hampshire on those 3 guys for wearing Palestinian scarves, the keffiyeh. Now, no mention of that here. No mention of an uptick in any of that, all right? This is some biased nonsense right here that you're peddling, Brother Yakym. All right. He called for, this is next check mark, called for defunding UN agencies that have refused to condemn Hamas and the atrocities of October 7th. I'm going to repeat it again, okay? Hamas is nothing more than what most every gun-toting American would be if anyone did to the United States what Israel has done to the Palestinians over the past 75 plus years. You're framing this from October 7th. I ask you, do you condemn genocide, Representative Yakym? If not, why did I just get this when I just got back from a weekend trip with my wife to Chicago? Why did I receive this in the mail if you're not against genocide? So you're against what happened on one day when the Israeli security let these people in. Now that's my theory, okay? That's what I believe. That's what I think is evidence-based, all right? And I think the truth will come out more and more in the future, all right? But regardless, you're overlooking 75 plus years of Israeli atrocities, plus this genocide, all right? And you're so pro-life and all these Palestinian babies and children being killed, over 10,000, and you're still, all right, and you want to condemn Hamas. Well, let's have if you're going to condemn violence, let's do it all the way around, okay? All right, again, you don't represent me. Here we go. Voted to block Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism. Again, who are they funding? One person's terrorist is another person's freedom fighter. I'm against violence in all of its forms, but let's be straight up real about this. If this happened to the United States, you would want a foreign country to fund your freedom fighters. It's just how it is. And I can't see how anybody with a conscience can frame it otherwise. Someone who understands history could frame it otherwise. The largest state sponsor voted to block Iran, the largest state sponsor of terrorism, from accessing $6 billion in funds that the Biden administration unfroze. Okay, so this is really this great, one-sided, Islamophobic, anti-Palestinian, pro-genocide flyer that I get in the mail that sounds just like the form letters I'm getting from Representative Yakym that look like Benjamin Netanyahu wrote them. There's the information on the bottom of the screen. Congressman Rudy Yakym, 202-225-3915, yakym.house.gov. And so be kind to them. Be kind to Brother Rudy, okay? Love these people, because a lot of people, they're just ignorant. They don't know. And if they do know, then I think that's just straight horrible. To me, that's unconscionable if they actually know all the facts. But anyone who has really studied this out and knows what they're talking about and isn't just taking political talking points or preaching to their choir, okay, and trying to get reelected, I don't think anyone like that would not use this approach that Congressman Yakym is using during a genocide while he's standing with senile genocide Joe Biden. I mean, this is just crazy. It's nuts. So I encourage you, get in touch with Brother Yakym. Be kind. Get in touch with the White House. Get in touch with your representatives. Let them know how you feel. If they don't listen to you, make a video or get up with me and we'll make a video together. All right? Because it's time that we stop tolerating this. Nowadays, most of us aren't going to be on the news, but we have a voice through the internet and through social media. So let's use it. God bless you. I love you. I love every one of my Jewish brothers and sisters, Muslim brothers and sisters, Christian brothers and sisters of all beliefs, no beliefs, ethnicity, regardless, okay, of what somebody might try to label you. We are all human beings, all right? And I'm going to say, just like John Lennon and Yoko Ono, all I'm saying is give peace a chance. God bless you. I love you all.